Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Beth and today we are going to be talking about Finding Winnie, the true story of the world's most famous bear by Lindsay Maddock and illustrated by Sophie Blackall. Okay, so this book is a Caldecott Medal Award winner. You can see it right up there in the corner, all shiny and pretty. It was published in 2015, so it is still a fairly new book. It is a narrative nonfiction, and it tells the story of Captain Harry Colburn, who is on his way from Winnipeg, Canada, to join up as a soldier and be the veterinarian who is at the front taking care of horses in the middle of battles when he sees a trapper with a baby bear next to him, kind of chained to the bench at a train station. And he walks up in the middle of World War One, pulls out a $20 bill from his pocket, which at that point was worth a lot more than we think it is today, and says, I will pay you $20 for that bear. And so he takes this little bear cub onto the train with him and names her Winnie in honor of Winnipeg, where he and the rest of his group are from. The narrative in the story starts out feeling a lot like a Winnie the Pooh book, which I found just very sweet. And Cole is Lindsay's son. Lindsay is the great granddaughter of Harry Colburn. So she starts out the book talking to Cole. He says, Could you tell me a story? Asked Cole. It's awfully late. It was long past dark and time to be asleep. What kind of story? You know, a true story about a bear. We cuddled up close. I'll do my best, I said. And that's the first page. So if you have read the Winnie the Pooh books recently or listened to the audiobooks recently or just have a great memory, you might remember that all of the Winnie the Pooh books start with Christopher Robin bumping down the stairs, dragging Winnie the Pooh behind him. And they all start out with him going into the room with the narrator, who we assume is A.A. Milne, and asking for a story and then saying something along the lines of, Edward Bear likes to hear stories about himself, or Winnie wants to hear a story about a bear. And then he tells them a story about Winnie the Pooh and Christopher Robin in the 100-Acre Woods. And so this starting out the same way, it's very reminiscent, and I think it is very fitting because this little girl right here is the reason we even have a Winnie the Pooh to begin with. This story is very heartwarming, and the fact that it is a true narrative is just amazing to me. Harry Colburn rescued this. He was a veterinarian, so of course he saw the cub and he wanted to rescue her. And he kept her in the army with him, and they gave her her own post, and she was able to help guard them as they were training. And then when they had to go to the actual battlefront, he took her to the London Zoo and asked them if they would be able to install her in the zoo. And then when he came back from the battle, maybe he could collect her again. And that's what happened, except when he came back from the battle and observed her with Christopher Robin and saw how well loved and well taken care of she was in the London Zoo, he left her there. He visited her, he told her he loved her, and then he went back to Canada. Now, obviously, this story is handed down. It is a family heirloom, but Lindsay Maddock has spearheaded campaigns. She made this into a radio documentary. She traveled to the UK to commemorate Harry and Winnie's experience in World War I, and she spearheaded an original exhibition for Harry and Winnie and their entire battalion. In the back of the book, she has included pictures. So this is actually an album that I believe they have pictures of things that either they put together for the original exhibition or that has been put together for their family, but they took these pictures, and there is Christopher Robin. And at the top of the picture, just barely visible, I don't know if you can see him on camera, is Alan Alexander Milne watching Christopher Robin feed Winnie. And so this is obviously something very important to her. It is a great family legacy, and it is something that I'm really, really happy she shared with us. And she lives in Toronto, so this is a story about a Canadian with a Canadian bear, and they wind up in London, and then a Canadian great-granddaughter of his writes it. So there you have it. I'm representing Canada for my Canada girls. Love you guys. And I think you should definitely give this a try. Even if you don't have a kid to read it to, I think you would find it very, very interesting. It's beautifully rendered, very well told, and just an interesting story to go along with the Winnie the Pooh tales. And it really kind of helps me at least see how we got to Winnie the Pooh living in the 100-acre wood and all of the things that he and Christopher Robin did together, because Christopher Robin and the real life Winnie were great friends, and he was able to just walk in there and visit Winnie and feed her and play with her. And so that really shows me where the real life and imagination kind of blended together for A.A. Milne to tell these stories and eventually write them down and sell them. So that has been my review of Lindsay Maddox, Finding Winnie, which was again illustrated by Sophie Blackall, who, by the way, is famous in her own right. She has done an international literacy campaign with Save the Children, and she has a very popular subway billboard poster section in New York. But anyway, that has been my review. If you have read it or are now going to read it because of this review, please let me know down below. If you have any other suggestions for narrative nonfiction picture books, we would love to hear them. My daughter really enjoys learning factual things and being able to wow people with her knowledge because mommy reads her the nonfictions. So we would love to hear it if you've got any of those recommendations. And that's all I've got. So don't forget to give it a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you again soon. Bye.